Today's video is not just about old pennies. It's about tiny Lincoln wheat pennies that look ordinary but can be worth more money than most homes. Some of these coins were pulled straight from pocket change. Others sat unnoticed for decades, and today they shock collectors with prices reaching deep into the six figures and beyond. As we count down the top 3 most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies, pay close attention because one small detail can mean the difference. Between a 1-cent coin and a life-changing discovery. If you love rare coins, hidden value, and real collector stories, make sure you subscribe now so you never miss what could be sitting in your own collection. First up, the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny, the forgotten copper cent that could be hiding in plain sight. What if I told you that a coin small enough to be ignored in a handful of change could actually carry a hidden story worth far more than its face value? Right now, in old jars, forgotten drawers, and inherited coin collections across the world, there are 1935 Lincoln wheat pennies quietly sitting there, unnoticed, underestimated, and waiting for the right eyes to recognize what they really are. Most people see just another worn copper cent, but collectors see something else entirely. A snapshot of American history, a product of Depression-era minting, and in rare cases, a coin that can spark bidding wars at auction. But here, where things get interesting, not every 1935 penny is just common change. Some carry subtle traits, rare minting quirks, and preservation levels so exceptional that they transform an ordinary coin into a collector's prize. The 1935 wheat penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint, which is why it carries the small S mint mark beneath the date on the obverse. This coin was produced during the height of the Great Depression, a time when every cent mattered and coin production played a critical role in keeping daily commerce alive. Millions of these pennies were struck for circulation, moving through the hands of Americans struggling through economic hardship. Because they were heavily used, most surviving examples today show wear, smoothing, and loss of detail. That is exactly why high-grade, well-preserved pieces have become surprisingly desirable among collectors. On the obverse side, you see Abraham Lincoln's dignified portrait facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," arch above his head, "Liberty" appears to the left, and the date, 1935, sits to the right with a small S mint mark below it indicating San Francisco origin. Flip the coin over, and you're greeted by the iconic wheat ears reverse, 2 elegant stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with EPLUBUSUNUM above. This design, used from 1909 to 1958, remains one of the most recognizable in American coin history. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Under normal lighting, it may appear like just another brown penny, but under magnification, the real story begins to unfold. Most people never notice this, but the 1935 penny holds subtle varieties that experienced collectors actively hunt for. While major doubled dies are not common for this specific date, there are known repunched mint mark varieties where the S shows slight doubling or misalignment due to multiple punches into the working die. These small imperfections are not damage. They are part of the minting process itself, and they can significantly increase collector interest when clearly visible and authenticated. In addition, strike quality varies widely for San Francisco issues from this era, meaning some coins exhibit sharper detail and stronger eye appeal than others. What happened next shocked collectors when well-preserved examples and rare-era coins began surfacing in the marketplace. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, lamination flaws, and struck-through errors have all been documented for 1935 wheat pennies. An off-center strike, where part of Lincoln's portrait is missing, can turn an ordinary coin into a dramatic visual rarity. A clipped planchet creates a curved, missing section on the edge of the coin that immediately signals a minting defect rather than post-mint damage. Lamination errors, caused by impurities in the copper alloy, can cause the surface to peel or separate, creating a dramatic and highly collectible appearance. So how do you know if your 1935 penny is special? Start by checking the mint mark beneath the date. It should be a small S under magnification. Look carefully for any signs of repunching or doubling. Next, examine the surface condition. A coin that still retains strong original red or red-brown luster is significantly more valuable than a dark, heavily circulated example. This tiny detail could change everything because color and preservation are among the most important factors in wheat penny value. Coins that have been cleaned, even lightly, often lose significant collector appeal instantly. Auction records reveal a fascinating pattern. Most circulated 1935 wheat pennies remain affordable and typically sell for only a modest premium over face value. However, uncirculated red or red-brown mint state examples can bring anywhere from $50 to several $100 depending on grade and eye appeal. Exceptional top-grade certified specimens have sold for well over $1,000 at major numismatic auctions. When you introduce a verified mint era, especially one that is visually dramatic and well-preserved, the value can rise significantly higher depending on rarity and demand. The value may leave you speechless when you realize how a simple copper cent can transform into a sought-after collectible. Collector demand remains steady for early San Francisco wheat pennies because they represent an important era of U.S. coinage history. Advanced collectors actively pursue high-grade examples to complete registry sets, while beginners enjoy building complete wheat penny collections that include iconic dates like 1935s. Over time, fewer and fewer original high-quality examples remain available, as many have been lost to circulation, cleaning, or environmental damage. Hidden details often separate ordinary coins from truly collectible ones. Experts examine Lincoln's hair details, wheat stalk definition, and the sharpness of lettering under magnification. They also look for full original mint luster that rolls across the surface when tilted under light. Coins that have been improperly stored or cleaned lose this natural luster and are significantly less desirable. Counterfeit examples are rare for this date, but altered surfaces and artificially enhanced color do exist in the marketplace, making professional authentication an important step for valuable pieces. Now we reach the most exciting moment, the highest known value potential. While most 1935 wheat pennies are modest in value, exceptional mint state red examples certified among the finest known have sold for several hundred to over $1,000 at major auctions. Dramatic mint era examples in strong preservation can achieve similar or even higher prices depending on rarity, condition, and visual appeal. These results remind collectors that value is not always about rarity of mintage. It is often about preservation, originality, and the hidden surprises left behind during the minting process. So before you overlook another old penny or dismiss that forgotten coin jar, take a closer look. Somewhere inside, a small S, beneath a simple date might be hiding a piece of history that collectors would recognize instantly. If you enjoyed this journey into the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because in our next video, we're revealing another wheat penny with an even more surprising minting story, and collectors are still chasing it today. Next up, the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, the quiet copper coin that could hide a fortune. What if the most valuable coin in your collection isn't shiny, rare-looking, or even obviously special, but instead looks like the exact penny you've ignored 1,000 times before? Right now, somewhere in a dusty jar, an old coin album, or even a forgotten drawer, a 1951 Lincoln wheat penny could be sitting unnoticed, carrying a story most people never bother to uncover. It's the kind of coin that blends into everyday life so perfectly that you could hold it in your hand and still miss its significance entirely. But here, where things get interesting, within this seemingly ordinary copper cent lies a world of mint secrets, subtle errors, and collector demand that has quietly built over decades. And if you're watching this, there's a real chance you might already own one without even realizing what it could be worth. The 1951 wheat penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint, which is why it carries the small S mint mark beneath the date on the obverse side. This coin was part of a massive production run during a post-war America that was still adjusting to economic change and rising industrial demand. millions were struck, and for most people at the time, it was just another penny used for groceries, bus fares, and everyday transactions. But what most people never notice is that even during high mintage years like 1951, certain minting conditions at San Francisco created subtle varieties and striking characteristics that collectors now hunt for with intense focus. On the obverse, you see Abraham Lincoln's dignified profile facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above him reads "In God We Trust," while Liberty appears to the left and the year 1951 sits to the right, followed by the small but important S mint mark just below it. The reverse displays the iconic wheat ears design, with two curved stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with EPLUBUSUNUM at the top. This design, used from 1909 to 1958, is one of the most recognized in American coinage history. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and is composed of 95% copper with a small mix of tin and zinc. Under normal lighting, its reddish-brown tone might look ordinary, but under magnification, the story begins to change. But here's where things get interesting. Not every 1951 S-penny was created equal. Collectors have identified several die varieties and striking anomalies that make certain examples stand out dramatically. Some coins show strong repunched mint marks, where the S appears slightly doubled or shifted due to repeated punching into the die. Others show minor doubled die obverses, where the lettering or date appears slightly offset under magnification. While not as famous as major doubled dies in other years, these subtle variations are exactly the kind of hidden detail that experienced collectors obsess over. Then there are the mint errors. What happened next shocked collectors when high-grade 1951 S-cents with dramatic mint mistakes began appearing in auctions. Off-center strikes, where part of Lincoln's portrait is missing, clipped planchets where the coin's edge looks cut or incomplete, and lamination errors caused by impurities in the metal all exist for this date. Even small strike-through errors, where foreign material was pressed into the coin during striking, can significantly increase collector interest when properly authenticated. Most people never notice this, but these flaws are not damage, they are born at the mint itself, making them highly collectible. So how do you identify whether your 1951 S-penny is ordinary or potentially valuable? Start by checking the mint mark beneath the date. It should be a small, clean S, but under magnification, look closely for doubling or irregular placement. Next, weigh the coin. Genuine copper cents should be close to 3.11 grams. Then examine the surfaces. A coin that still shows strong original red or red-brown luster is significantly more desirable than a dark or heavily circulated example. This tiny detail could change everything because condition is one of the biggest factors in determining value. Even a common coin can become desirable if it survives in pristine mint state condition with full original color. Auction records show a clear pattern. Most circulated 1951 S wheat pennies remain common and inexpensive, often selling for only a small premium over face value. However, uncirculated red examples in high mint state grades can reach anywhere from $50 to several $100s, depending on eye appeal and certification. Exceptional top pop examples graded among the finest known have exceeded $1,000 at major auctions. When you add a verified mint error, especially a visually dramatic one, the value can climb even higher depending on rarity and collector demand. The value may leave you speechless when you realize how much difference a single mint mistake or a perfect surface can make. Collector demand for the 1951 S wheat penny remains strong because San Francisco issues from the early 1950s often come with sharp strikes and attractive surfaces when preserved well. Registry collectors actively compete for high-grade certified examples, while beginners enjoy assembling complete wheat penny sets that include this classic post-war issue. As time passes, fewer original uncirculated rolls remain intact, meaning premium quality examples continue to become harder to find. But there's a deeper layer most people overlook. Experienced collectors study the coin under magnification, looking for full wheat lines on the reverse, strong hair definition in Lincoln's portrait, and clean, unbroken luster across the fields. Coins that have been cleaned, even lightly, lose significant value instantly. Counterfeits are rare for this date, but altered mint marks or artificially enhanced color do exist, especially in online marketplaces. That's why authentication from a trusted grading service can make all the difference between an ordinary penny and a certified collectible. Now we arrive at the moment you've been waiting for. The highest known value for a standard 1951 wheat penny depends heavily on condition and rarity. While circulated examples remain low in value, exceptional certified red mint state coins have achieved prices exceeding $1,000. Dramatic mint-era specimens in high preservation can reach similar or even higher levels depending on their uniqueness and visual impact. What makes this coin fascinating is not just its price, but the possibility that a simple penny pulled from circulation decades ago could now be worth far more than anyone ever imagined. So before you dismiss that jar of old pennies or pass over another inherited coin collection, take a closer look. Somewhere inside, a small S, beneath a simple date, might be hiding a surprising piece of history. If you enjoyed this journey into the 1951 wheat penny, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the next coin we're about to reveal has one of the most unexpected minting quirks in the entire Wheat Penny series, and collectors are still chasing it today. Next up, the 1952 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny, the everyday coin that could be hiding a rare surprise. What if the coin you've been ignoring for years, the one sitting quietly at the bottom of a jar, mixed with ordinary change, is actually part of a hidden story collectors are still chasing today? Right now, somewhere in a forgotten collection, a 1952 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny could be waiting, looking completely ordinary, yet carrying subtle secrets that only trained eyes can truly recognize. Most people think of it as just another old copper cent. Nothing special, nothing rare. But here, where things get interesting, history has shown again and again that coins like this one can hide unexpected varieties, minting mistakes, and condition rarities that completely change their value. And if you're watching this, there's a real chance you might already have one without realizing what it could be worth. The 1952 D. Wheat Penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is why it carries the small D mint mark beneath the date on the obverse side. This coin was produced during a booming post-war America, a time when the U.S. economy was expanding rapidly and coin production was at full strength to support everyday commerce. More than 700 million pennies were struck at Denver in 1952, making it a high mintage issue that circulated widely across the country. These coins passed through countless hands, gas stations, diners, grocery stores, and vending machines, becoming part of everyday life in mid-century America. Because of that heavy circulation, most surviving examples today show noticeable wear, making well-preserved coins far more desirable than their original mintage might suggest. On the obverse, you see Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above him is the motto, "In God We Trust," while Liberty appears to the left and the year, 1952, sits to the right, followed by the small D mint mark indicating Denver production. Flip the coin over, and you'll find the famous wheat ears reverse, where two stylized wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, with EPLURBUSUNUM above. This design remained in use from 1909 until 1958 and is one of the most beloved in all U.S. coinage. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. While it may look simple at first glance, collectors know that small differences in strike quality and surface preservation can make a massive difference in value. Most people never notice this, but the 1952 D penny contains subtle varieties and striking anomalies that collectors actively search for. One of the most recognized is the repunched mint mark, where the D appears slightly doubled or shifted due to multiple punches into the die during production. Under magnification, this can appear as a shadow or secondary impression beside the main mint mark. While not dramatic at first glance, these varieties are highly collectible because they represent the human and mechanical imperfections of the minting process. In addition, strike variation is common for this date, meaning some coins show sharper details than others depending on die condition and pressure during striking. What happened next shocked collectors when high-grade 1952 D cents began appearing in mint state rolls and old bank holdings decades later. Coins that had been untouched since the 1950s occasionally surfaced with full original red luster, appearing almost as if they had just left the mint. Even more exciting are the error coins discovered for this date. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, lamination errors, and struck-through debris errors are all known. In some cases, a coin was struck so off-center that part of Lincoln's portrait or the wheat reverse is missing entirely, creating a dramatic visual effect that collectors find extremely desirable. These mint-made mistakes are not damage, they are rare production anomalies that increase collector interest significantly. So how do you know if your 1952 D penny is special? Start by locating the mint mark beneath the date. It should be a small, clear D, though under magnification you should check carefully for doubling or repunching. Next, examine the coin's color and surface quality. Coins with strong original, red, luster are significantly more valuable than brown or heavily circulated examples. This tiny detail could change everything because surface preservation is one of the most important factors in wheat penny valuation. A coin that appears ordinary in circulation might become a premium collectible simply due to its untouched original surfaces. Auction records show a wide range of values depending on condition and rarity. Most circulated 1952 D wheat pennies remain common and are worth only a small premium over face value. However, uncirculated red examples in high mint state grades can sell for anywhere from $20 to several $100s, depending on certification and eye appeal. Exceptional top-grade specimens, especially those graded among the finest known, have sold for over $1,000 at major numismatic auctions. When you combine high grade with a verified mint error, especially a visually striking one, the price can rise significantly higher based on demand and rarity. The value may leave you speechless when you realize how dramatically condition and small minting mistakes can transform a simple penny. Collector demand remains strong for early 1950s Denver wheat pennies because they represent the final decade of the wheat reverse design before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial Cent in 1959. Many collectors focus on completing full year-end mint sets, and high-quality Denver issues are essential pieces in those collections. Registry set collectors, in particular, drive demand for high-grade certified examples, often competing for the finest known specimens. Hidden details often separate ordinary coins from valuable discoveries. Experts closely examine Lincoln's hair detail, the wheat stalk lines, and the sharpness of lettering. They also look for full mint luster that rolls across the surface when the coin is tilted under light. Coins that have been cleaned or polished lose this natural luster and are significantly less desirable. Counterfeits are rare for this date, but artificially enhanced color or surface manipulation does exist, especially in online markets. That is why authentication from reputable grading services can make a crucial difference when value increases. Now we reach the most exciting moment, the highest known value potential. While most 1952 D wheat pennies are common in circulated condition, exceptional mint state red examples certified among the finest known have sold for several hundred to over $1,000 at major auctions. Dramatic mint error examples in strong preservation can bring similar or even higher results, depending on rarity and visual impact. These prices show that even a coin produced in massive numbers can become valuable when preservation, originality, and minting quirks align perfectly. So before you overlook another penny or dismiss that old coin jar sitting quietly on a shelf, take a closer look. Somewhere inside, a small D beneath a simple date might be hiding a surprising piece of American history. If you enjoyed this journey into the 1952 D Lincoln wheat penny, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because next time we're revealing another wheat penny with an unexpected mint variation that continues to surprise collectors even today.